Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of PDPMO. Once again, I am your host, Richard. Thanks for stopping by and chatting movies with me. First off, I'd like to apologize to all my viewers. It's been a long time since I've posted a video. I've been incredibly busy with other things going on, but I'm back now, and I'm my vow to you is to get a lot more videos out there because I want to talk about movies. It's going to be straight up movie reviews, top 10 lists, all sorts of stuff because I just love talking about movies. Today, the movie I'm going to be discussing is Spider-Man No Way Home, the third in the MCU Spider-Man trilogy. I don't know if there's going to be a fourth one. There could be. Um, Before I get into the movie, I am going to say I am a huge fan of the Marvel movies. They've had a couple of misfires, which I will get to, because one of the compilation videos I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rank every MCU movie from my least favorite to my favorite. That'll be coming in the next. I'm hoping this week. Actually, I'd like to get that out there. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Marvel movies. I think for the most part they've been really great. Not only a lot of great fan service for comic fans, but a nice blend of humor and action to really bring in new viewers to the joy of superheroes. I remember my wife actually didn't want to go see the first Iron Man when it was coming out. I basically had to force her into going, and I think now she might even be a bigger Marvel fan than I am. But yeah, it's so thank you, Marvel, for bringing my wife around so that I don't have to hear about how much of a huge nerd I am from my wife, because now she's a bigger nerd than I am. So thank you, Marvel. I win that one. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in on the latest Spider-Man movie. Tom Holland is a wonderful Spider-Man. I've loved all his performances. Did I like this movie? Did it piss me off? I loved this movie. I loved it so much so I actually watched it twice within a week. Like I just couldn't get enough of it. I loved it, loved it, loved it, beginning to end. Um, I love the story. I love the scope. I'm not going to get into the spoilers right now, just in case somebody hasn't seen it. But I love. I can't even begin to say to tell you guys how much I love this movie. Obviously, when I do my list of favorite Marvel movies, it's going to be near the top. I will say that. It is my favorite of the Spider-Man movies. I would say it's top 10 for me for the Marvel movies. But yeah, if you guys haven't had a chance to see it, go see it. Watch it on TV if you can, any way you can. See this movie. See it as quickly as you can, because the longer you take to see a movie in today's world, because of even stuff like this, because of reviewers and online and stuff like that, it's so easy to have stuff spoiled. So see these movies as quickly as you can if you don't want anything spoiled. I had a major plot point spoiled for me. That wasn't anybody's fault. It's happened before. It'll happen again. It's just the nature of the beast. But it still didn't take away from my enjoyment of the movie. So see it, watch it, comment. I'd love to hear what you thought of it. Not only this movie, but any of my reviews. And of course, I'm always open to suggestions for movies that you'd like me to review going forward. So now, I am going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything about Spider-Man, please leave now. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, go see it and then come back and watch the rest of this review. Okay, so at the end of the second Spider-Man movie, so yeah, spoilers, don't get mad at me. This is not my fault anymore. Okay, so the second Spider-Man movie ends. Mysterio, played brilliantly by Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal has become one of my favorite actors working today. I just love him. I will see a movie because Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. That's how high I rate him as an actor. So at the end of the second Spider-Man, Jake Gyllenhaal, Mysterio, reveals to the world that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. That's how the movie ends. So the movie No Way Home starts, and Peter Parker is now dealing with that fallout because as you can imagine, I mean, he's not like the Iron Man with the like I am Iron Man. He wants his identity a secret, and I mean, it's tough enough being a teenage kid, but now you're a teenage kid who's Spider Man. So all the what you'd expect, the press is hounding him. He can't really go to a normal school anymore. Everyone's recording his every step, so he's got to deal with that. But what he starts to realize is that he needs people to forget. He wants to go back to a time when nobody knew who he was. So he goes to Stephen Strange and asks him to cast a spell to basically wipe the memory of him being Spider-Man from the planet. So Stephen Strange agrees, and he starts casting the spell. But then Peter Parker starts trying to change the spell because he doesn't want MJ to forget. He doesn't want Aunt May to forget. He doesn't want his friends to forget. And because of the amount that he changes the spell, Stephen Strange loses control of the spell and has to capture it. In that moment, what has happened is people from the multiverse have been drawn to this MCU because anybody in the other universes who knows that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, they're coming. And so before Steven can seal it, some baddies get through. And I know from the trailers, I mean, you see it, like you got Green Goblin, you've got Dr. Octavius, you've got Sandman. The name's just leaving me right now. The Lizard. They're all coming, and now you have to capture them, send them back. So also who comes through, which you find later in the movie, are the true previous iterations of Spider-Man, as in Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there that are either like pro Tobey Maguire, pro Andrew Garfield, or pro Tom Holland. I thought each one brought a certain, they brought a nuanced character to the thing. I was really happy about Tobey Maguire getting cast in the first Spider-Man. I always, anytime you watch the first of a movie, you know that it's got to like set up its characters, and there's going to be a lot of stuff like that. So a movie really doesn't hit its stride till the second one. So I mean, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man with Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, it was decent. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't until Spider-Man 2 that it really got its legs. And like Black Panther has taught us, the quality of a superhero movie really depends on the quality of its villain. Killmonger in Black Panther, one of the great villains in superhero movies. And back before there was an MCU, you had Doc Ock, played wonderfully by Alfred Molina. Spider-Man 2, for me, hands down, is the best of the original Sam Raimi trilogy. Spider-Man 3, I don't hate it as much as most people. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the dancing and all that stuff was just silly and unnecessary. But there were things in Spider-Man 3 that I really liked, like Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman. I thought he did a great job. If he had just been the one villain, then you could have had something akin to Doc Ock in number two. Um, Bryce Dallas Howard, who I just adore Bryce Dallas Howard. She played Gwen Stacy, and again, it was a weird kind of thing because like you had the whole MJ from the first one falling the way Gwen did, but then she's introduced later as a character. I didn't understand why all of a sudden now Gwen's here because I mean in the comics Gwen dies before he even gets together with MJ, but now Gwen's here. But I thought she was great. So anyway, this isn't a review of Spider-Man 3. But then you get into the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and Andrew Garfield. Uh, I was really excited. I was, and I liked the first one. I did like the first one. Second one, it fell into the same. I felt it fell into the same trap that the third one did. They tried to shoehorn too many things in, like um, it was. They just tried to compress it too much when they already had the formula. Decent characters, like just struggling to make their presence felt. I mean, the best villains are the sympathetic ones. Um, they didn't really have those in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Andrew Garfield was great. So now we flash forward to No Way Home, and both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are back. They have a wonderful exchange when they're trying to figure out what's going on. And also, there's a later one when they're hey Peter, and all three of them look up and they're like Peter one, Peter. Anyway, it works. The three of them played really well off each other. There's a lot of throwbacks to the movies, so much so that if you go back and watch them, you'll pick up more stuff. But I'm just going to jump to this one particular scene because there are things in movies that just get me. That, like it's either like the music or the visuals or something. But towards the end of this movie, there is a scene during the climactic battle. And so you've got the three Spider, the three spiders. Uh, they're going up against the bad guys, and they should be doing okay, but they're really losing. They're really getting their butts kicked. So then the three of them get together, and they decide that they need to team up. They need to team up and take these guys down one at a time. And so there is this scene. I saw this movie, loved it. I literally showed my wife this scene because the three of them decide to, like I said, team up. And so they're on this scaffolding at the Statue of Liberty. And the three of them run. And those of you who have seen this movie know what I'm talking about. I know you loved it as much as I did. Don't even try to pretend you didn't. This was amazing. The three of them are running, and they all jump off and, spider web. And then they come swinging around the corner. And it was just... I mean, I know it's like CGI and stuff like that, but it was just gorgeous. The three of them coming around the corner, flying through the air, and then you had that there was that scene in Avengers: Age of Ultron when the entire team goes in to battle the bad guys. It was that, except it was like three versions of Spider-Man. And then, they all strike their pose, and it was just gorgeous. I've seen the movie twice. I've seen that scene like 10 times. I can't get enough. So yeah, those are the moments that we love in movies. Those are the things that just you just want to stand up and cheer. Love that. And so, they, I'm spoiling it. They saved the day. But the thing that really got me, it got me. Two things. Okay, major spoilers. This was the thing that was spoiled for me. And I really hate when this happens. So spoiler. If you don't want to know, stop listening. Aunt May dies early on in the movie. It's tough, but it's one of those things where Spider-Man just has to have that that thing that sends him to the brink. Um, with Tobey Maguire, it was Uncle Ben. With Andrew Garfield's, it was losing Gwen, and with this one, it was Aunt May, killed by Green Goblin. Brilliantly acted by Marissa Tomei and Tom Holland, and Jon Favreau even as Happy Hogan. Just great job of acting. But yeah, Aunt May dies. I found that out before I watched the movie. Talk about don't piss me off. That pissed me off. But I mean, there's nothing you can do, right? Like I was literally the way it got spoiled. Nobody spoiled it for me. It was one of those things like you're scrolling through and it's like, hey, top 10 of this and top 10 of this, and then top 10 movie deaths who you didn't expect, and there's Aunt May's face, and I'm like, come on, like, why would you do that? Just put like a sign of any movie. But anyway, so yeah, that got spoiled for me, which sucked. And so again, I gave you a bunch of warnings. So if I spoil that for you, that's on you now. But the other thing that got me this is a quick spoiler for Amazing Spider-Man 2. So at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, they have a situation with Spider-Man and Gwen very similar to in the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man, where she's falling and Spider-Man's trying to save her. Now, this ties into the comics where Gwen dies. So in Amazing Spider-Man 2, Andrew Garfield is diving down to try and save Gwen. He gets the web on her. Whether or not she breaks her neck or it's the impact, like he didn't quite get there in time, Gwen dies at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. So in this movie, there is a scene where MJ starts to fall. And so Tom Holland's Spider-Man goes after her. But then, because you're like, oh, is he going to save her? What? And then he's hit by Green Goblin and taken out. So now you're thinking, oh my God. But then Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, sees this and he dives after her. And so dives after her with a V. And so, again, brilliantly played Zendaya. Her, she, as she's falling, it looks like she's understanding that this is the end. And so Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, catches her and saves her. And, that redemption for his character from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Andrew Garfield is such a good actor, and he acted that scene so brilliantly, because he asks her if she's okay, and she says yeah, and then he's like openly crying, and then she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like, that was just so well done. Great job for putting that in there. He needed that. So anyway, now all the bad guys have been cured, because that's what Peter Parker's trying to do. He's trying to cure them so that when they get sent back, they don't have to die, because they all died fighting Spider-Man. So the last one is Green Goblin, and so Tom Holland goes up against Green Goblin. They're fighting, and Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, has crossed over. He's gone over the edge, and he's pummeling Green Goblin to the point that, I mean, Green Goblin can't even get up. And then Tom Holland Spider-Man, THSP, goes over and grabs the glider and is going to kill him. And then right at the last second, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man stops him and just stares at him. Now, there are some people I've seen online that are just kind of like, yeah, Tobey Maguire's a bad actor. He conveyed so much in just that look. Like, you can tell he was having a conversation. Like, Tom Holland saw red, saw rage, saw murder, wanted to kill Green Goblin. I get it. Like, who doesn't want to, who hasn't wanted to kill Green Goblin at some point? But in just the expression on Tobey Maguire's face, he was literally saying, "You don't want to do this. You can't do this. You need to come back." And it takes a while for Tom Holland to heed these messages that he's just hitting. He's just hitting with just an expression. For those of you who think Tobey Maguire is a bad actor, you try it. He had an entire conversation with his face without saying a word. I'm sorry, that's good acting. Um, and then he gets stabbed in the back. Tobey Maguire gets stabbed in the back by Green Goblin. So then, you know, Tom Holland has the chance to kill him, but instead he cures him. So, I mean, Tobey Maguire was able to bring him back. And, I mean, that's so great. So, meanwhile, in the background, Stephen Strange has lost control of the spell. There are these fissures that are opening up. People are coming through, and he can't stop it. So, Spider-Man makes the heartbreaking decision for him to cast the spell to wipe everyone's memory of who Spider-Man is. And so he casts that spell, and everybody forgets that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Even like the Avengers, all that stuff. Now, they wouldn't have forgotten Spider-Man. Like, it's not like all of a sudden the events in Infinity War and Endgame is like there was no Spider-Man. There was Spider-Man. They just don't remember who he is. And so all of their relationships between the MCU superheroes and Peter Parker are gone. And that has like huge ramifications going forward. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this in the future movies. I'm looking forward to even if possibly they touch on this in the second Doctor Strange, which I haven't yet seen. I'm hoping to see it this week. That might be coming later on in my review. But yeah, huge ramifications. And you want to talk acting. Like Tom Holland. Oh my God. This kid, and I can say kid because he's young enough to be my son. Barf. But he is. And he's got some chops. I really hope that he can forge his career in the right direction, because this guy can bring the feels. He can definitely bring the feels. So yeah, end of the movie, he goes to track down MJ, and at the end he realizes that like he has a speech prepared that he's like gonna remind her who he is. And at the end, he just realizes that she might be better off without him, and just does that the heartbreaking decision of just walking away, which for me is like a throwback. This is for the older viewers out there. You remember the TV show The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby? You know, the end, you know, when, you know, the piano music plays and he walks off into the distance alone. That kind of had a Incredible Hulk vibe from the 70s, 80s. And I thought that was nice, because sometimes, like, I mean, you look at some of the great movies like the Western Shane. Sometimes the hero has to ride away. Whether or not Shane like slumped over in his horse is still up for debate, but yeah, sometimes the hero has to make the tough decision that his loved ones might be better if he goes away. So yeah, Spider-Man: No Way Home. I can't sing this movie's praises enough. I loved it beginning to end. The pacing was great. The script was good. The acting was tight. A lot of fan service, which I love, as long as it's not over the top. J.J. Abrams, Rise of Skywalker. Come on, like, what the hell? But there is such a thing as too much fan service, considering the fact that you didn't tell a story. Anyway, um, that review will be in the future. I'm going to do all the Star Wars movies. But yeah, Spider-Man, all three of them, I really enjoyed. Um, Compelling villains, compelling storylines. I love how these stories throughout the MCU mesh and work together. Could I sit there and actually go through and point out, well, this could happen because of this? I don't care. It's how these movies make me feel. That's all I care about. You're gonna screw up a couple of things. Everybody does when you're talking about time travel or like multiverses. You're gonna run into stuff. Back to the Future doesn't even make any sense. It's still a classic. But yeah, great movie. I loved it. Please check it out. Um, and going forward, I will try to get more of these videos out. I'm going to be doing my compilations. I'd like to hear about, especially when I do the compilation videos, I want, like if I'm doing like my top 10 favorite Westerns, I would love to hear uh, not why my picks are bad, but why your picks are better. That's what I would love to hear because basically my top 10 list can change. There might be a movie that I haven't watched. I could watch it because of one of your reviews, then all of a sudden I might need to redo one of my top 10 videos. Thank you guys for stopping by. Again, I apologize it's been so long since my videos have been out. I'm going to do better, I promise, each and every one of you. But yeah, go check out the newest Spider-Man. Go check out Doctor Strange 2, even though I haven't seen it yet, because I'm a big fan of movies. You know what? Go see movies. Go see them. They're great. I have a lot of fun doing this. I hope you have fun watching. If you're so inclined, click like, subscribe. Let me know you're out there. Leave comments in the video in the comment section down below, and let's keep the conversation going. I love talking about movies. Could do it all day, but for now, I am going to bid you all adieu. Thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Bye for now.